But let's move into the second topic, and we're going to be bringing in Bill, our patron, onto this segment. Bill, we want to first off give you a shout out for coming back on. People were saying we should hire you after the first time you were on talking about the Clippers. So we're glad to have you back. And in this topic, we're going to be talking about who the Los Angeles Lakers will acquire. That's including Kawhi. So are they going to bring in Paul George? Are they going to bring in LeBron James? Are they going to bring in Kawhi? All three, two of them, one of them, or are they just going to completely miss out? We'll be talking about that here on this topic, making some bold takes. And Bill, we're going to go to you first. I think last time you were a little iffy on kind of locking down some picks, so we're going to put you out of your comfort zone today. But looking at everything that's going on so far with Paul George declining his option, LeBron really staying quiet. We are recording this the day before he has his option deadline, so we don't know if he's going to opt in or opt out. And then also the pressure being on the Lakers for Kawhi. Do you think they have the possibility of landing all three?
Yeah, I think they definitely have the possibility of landing all three, just because with what was going on today via the trade talks with the Spurs and the Lakers, it sounds like the Spurs have finally come to the conclusion that Kawhi's not going to resign and they're not going to keep him, that they're basically going to trade him before the season starts. So I think it's almost a done deal that Kawhi is going to be going to the Lakers. And Kawhi, I think, is going to be the first domino to fall, or at least in terms of LeBron. I don't think LeBron will sign with any team unless there's some other star or superstar player there. So I think it's a very likely possibility that you get some sort of trade that's either like an Ingram and Kuzma and a pick, or Ball and Kuzma and a pick to the Spurs for Kawhi. And then after that is when I think all the dominoes are going to fall. It would be interesting, though, to see how they could fit it in the salary cap with LeBron, Paul George, and Kawhi if they were able to land all three. But I think Kawhi is going to be contingent on what LeBron does because, as you know, LeBron doesn't make any decision unless he's got help going somewhere. So.
Yeah, and I agree with Bill. I think it's kind of contingent on the Spurs trading him, but it's really, when will the Spurs trade him? Because there's not really a clock on them needing to trade him now. Maybe they'll get the most out of it because Los Angeles really wants to get him before free agency kicks in. But, Ricky, I'll go to you. How many of these players, LeBron, PG, and Kawhi, will go to the Los Angeles Lakers? Is it possible that all three? Are you going to agree with Bill that it's possible?
At this moment, and I know we've already talked about him in this podcast already, I think at this moment I'm saying Paul George is the only one I see. And the reason why I say that is for some weird feeling, I just feel like the Spurs are going to shoot themselves in the foot with this one.
Really?
Because, there was a tweet earlier today from Woj that was like, the Spurs and Popovich think that they can still repair this relationship. No, it's gone. The boat is sailing. Trade them now.
David Robinson also agrees that they're going to be able to repair it.
But it's if, in my mind, if you feel like you can repair this relationship in San Antonio, you're delusional. You can't repair this. Kawhi wants out. It kind of reminds me of imagine yourself at a job. Once you're like, oh, there's another job open over here, and you start thinking about it, and then you start thinking about leaving, you're already out the door mentally, so why would you want to come back? And that's Kawhi. He is already out the door mentally. He has said, I want to go to L.A. I don't want to be here anymore. And I feel like the Spurs...
Well, hold on. I want to say something because he hasn't said shit because he's being a real snake right now. But people are saying KD's a snake. No, Kawhi's more of a snake than KD is.
Get that out of
Let's be honest. The word gets out, and it gets out. LeBron does the same stuff. It's like if you want information out, it's the person that is at the center of it who is letting everything leak. LeBron's the king of it, too, where it's like he doesn't let information out unless he wants that information
like the fact that he,
out.
reached out to KD and asked him, what about L.A.?
Exactly.
That was LeBron's doing?
And I mean,
he let that one go?
And for me, I feel like the Spurs are going to say, no, we can fix it. They're not going to make, I hope they do, but I feel like they're not going to make a trade by the trade deadline. He walks away like KD, and basically we're having this conversation next offseason.
Dave, do they get all three?
I think they get 2 out of 3. I don't think Paul George will go. I think that the Kawhi thing will happen. It won't happen instantly. Watch, I'm wrong, and by the time it's posted, he's already on the Lakers. But I think that they've got all... It's playing with house money. There's no need for them to move him now. They can play the game back and forth between the Lakers and the Celtics and be like, yo, they're saying something about Jason Tatum over there. So maybe toss in another pick or another sweetener over here. So I think they have the ultimate power in their control. I feel like people were like, oh no, they've got to move him now because it's Kawhi's saying he's never coming back. Like, no, they still hold all the cards.
Well, but it does seem every effort that the Spurs have tried to move to kind of regain some momentum and positivity on their side has been just destroyed because the Celtics are apparently not even willing to give up Jason Tatum, not even Jaylen Brown. So, I mean, they are getting lowballed apparently by the 76ers. They were given to give up Covington, Saric, and a first. Boston's been really quiet. I mean, it's been really bad looking for the Spurs so far. Bill, I want to go to you. We gave our thoughts on PG-13, and you're thinking that Kawhi does have the possibility of going LA. We gave our thoughts on, will PG go to the Lakers or will he stay in OKC? What are your thoughts on Paul George? Do you think he's made up his mind already, or do you think he needs to be pitched by LA, or do you think he's already gone?
I think he needs to be pitched. It's been kind of odd, for the longest time you were hearing that, it's LA or bust for Paul George, and then, he's had all these talks with the Thunder, and then all these words coming out that he might stay with the Thunder. I don't think it's a done deal that Paul George is going there just because of the whole Kawhi and LeBron thing. I think they could have a chance to land all three, but I think that Kawhi is probably going to end up there, and if it's Kawhi and LeBron that are on the Lakers, like, where does Paul George even fit in? Because they all kind of play the same position, even though LeBron could play basically the 1 through the 4. I think Paul George, I think he could end up somewhere that's not Oklahoma City or LA just because of this whole Kawhi situation. So, and going off the point of whoever said that the Spurs might shoot themselves in the foot here, does anybody else think it's unbelievable how the Spurs handled this situation to have like one of the most non-vocal, non-diva players or stars to ever play in this league to just be completely done with an organization that everybody thought was tight-knit, well-run, and, like a class organization? I think that story in and of itself is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's one of the weirdest things I've kind of encountered, doing this podcast, because one of it, I never thought he spoke. I think David Robinson even said on the Get Up that maybe him and Kawhi have said 4 things to each other. I mean, Kawhi is as mild-mannered as it comes, so this has been extremely weird, and it's been also weird that he's also said absolutely nothing at all. There's been nothing coming straight from Kawhi. I have some strong feelings about that. I think I made it known on the podcast before, but it's something that it's just very strange, and we're not hearing pretty much the full story, and I don't think we're getting a lot out of that Kawhi camp, but it's extremely weird. But Bill, going to you, what players would you want? Because you're saying that Paul George might not go there. Would you want LeBron and PG? Would you want LeBron and Kawhi? If you had to pick 2 of the 3, which ones do you think would work best together and give the Lakers the best chance to at least move forward and succeed?
For like a single year or 2, or for like a future?
Let's just say that for a future, and then also a contract. So if you're getting LeBron, you're at least getting him for 4 to 3 years, like you just got in Cleveland. Kawhi, he's going to sign the longest possible deal he can. Same with Paul George.
Yeah, I honestly think, and this is going to sound crazy because LeBron's the best player in the league, but is he 33 now and going to be 34 in the start of next season, or is he still going to be 33 at the start of the season?
He is going to be he's 33 now and will turn 34 December 30th.
Yeah, I'm probably in the minority on this, but I mean, I see LeBron having this upcoming season and one more season to where he is the best player in the league, and I see him tailing off pretty quick after that. I mean, the minutes are going to catch up with him. It'd be great for LA if they could sign him to maybe get a championship in the next year or 2, but I don't see LeBron as the main piece on a championship team 3 years from now.
Well, and one thing, too, people always compare him to Jordan. Jordan fell off after 34, retired for the second time after 34, then came back in 38 and 39. Still put up 20 points per game in those two years, but still, I mean,
nothing but turnaround jumpers.
He wasn't his prime.
I was going to say,
after
though,
that second retirement.
We were talking about that when we were at VidCon, and Dave's reading off the stats of him with the Wizards, and Dave's like, man, for a dude who was 40, man, he was putting up some numbers.
Yeah, it was so impressive. I mean, yes, he only played offense, but still, it was impressive. I don't know. I feel like LeBron's just got sticking power. Like, he does everything so well that even, if he's only playing like 27 minutes a night, he could still drop like, 12, 8, and 8. Like, that's just... I don't think there's ever a point where he just totally falls off.
And this just hit me because of what Bill said. And I was watching this little thing on ESPN today where they were basically saying, like, LeBron's the master of he'll give you signs. Like, everything that he wears for a statement. Everything he does kind of says something about what he's thinking. And after one of the finals games, I think it was like finals.
It was game 7 or game Easter 2, Conference Finals.
It was there's no magic pill.
It was game 7.
And it just hit
Easter
me.
Conference.
What if that is him telling us, hey, I'm getting older. I'm not going to go somewhere thinking, I'm the magic pill. You have me. You're going to the finals. I need guys who are going to help me out, guys that I can trust. Because that's a big thing with LeBron. He's got to trust the guys that he's with. I know he trusts PG. Does he trust Kawhi? Probably.
I agree with this, but with everything that's going on with free agency, the last thing I'm going to do is read into LeBron's fucking clothing to see where he's going to go in free agency. So, like, I just don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I don't have the time. I'm not going to do that. So, I mean, maybe it was a statement. Maybe he was just, and it was right after game 7, so maybe it was just, there's no magic pill to win a game. I don't know what it was. But, Bill, we did kind of cut you off there. You were talking about LeBron possibly breaking down. So it seemed like you were going the way of you'd rather have Paul George and Kawhi, right?
Yes, but not necessarily. I mean, I think Paul George is a key. The thing about Kawhi is if Kawhi goes there with LeBron, the Lakers can be back in this situation of being an awful team within 4 years. Because if you're going to get Kawhi, you're giving up everything that you sucked the last however many years for. You're going to give up Kuzma. You're going to give up Ingram. You're going to give up future picks. You're going to give up Hart. And so if Kawhi goes there and it's Kawhi and LeBron's going to be old, and they're going to give up all their assets and all their picks, and they're going to then just have Kawhi, and they might have a window of a couple years to win championships. I mean, you still have Golden State out there. I mean, Houston is still dangerous. If Chris Paul didn't pull that hamstring, they're in the finals. I mean, if for the Lakers' future, I honestly think signing LeBron with Kawhi would be the worst move they could do. I think Paul George and LeBron is the best move they can do, because you had to give up every asset you have to get Kawhi and get a 34-year-old LeBron. I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, they need star power out in LA, but I don't know. And it's always, to me, it's always so surprising that people don't want to follow LeBron to play somewhere. He has to wait until somebody else does something for him to go. Like, I think it's kind of crazy for the best player in the league if he just said, I'm going to go to team so-and-so, that other free agents wouldn't want to go there. He's kind of always hesitant on what he wants to do, and he has to see how everything else plays out. I think that's another storyline in and of itself is, why aren't people, like, dying to play with LeBron? That's just kind of my own personal opinion on that. But, yeah, I think the best move for the Lakers would be Paul George and LeBron, because then they don't have to give up the assets that they have. Or if LeBron does, like, a sign and trade, maybe it's, one player that they send over to Cleveland to make, money work and all that. But if he, like, opts in and does the sign and trade kind of thing. But, yeah, I think if they get Kawhi with LeBron, that pairing could spell dooms for them in 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, and the one thing I do want to say, maybe the only exception would be LeBron going to Cleveland, because that he wanted to get that ring again. I mean, he was really just making that move because he wanted to get a ring for Cleveland, and no one really followed him. They did have to trade for K-Love, but outside of that, Miami, and then obviously right now with Los Angeles, I think you'd hit the nail on the head there. But I do want to go with you guys. Do you agree with Bill? Would Paul George and LeBron be the best duo out of the 2 or the 3, or would you say maybe even Kawhi and PG-13?
I think all
LeBron and Kawhi. Well, of course, but I'm saying a duo.
If you had to go 2 out of 3,
we're going to talk about how all 3 will work later, but at least the duo.
I disagree to a degree with you, Bill, where I feel like even if they have Kawhi and LeBron, the Lakers are still going to be a really good team, and I don't know if it's the thing that puzzles me with it is not that they'll fall off. It's to me what Bill hit. What will the Lakers have to give up? Why will they have to give up so much? Because look at the other side of town the team that plays in the same stadium as them. The Clippers are kind of sitting there like, hey, don't forget about us. Don't forget about us.
But they're young.
But they're young, but think about it. If they're able to get a Kawhi deal done, get that trade with the Spurs, because the Spurs have just said they don't want to trade him to L.A.
But I don't think they're going to be able to.
Lakers.
I don't think the Clippers are a big player right now.
But, that's the thing. You think that, and then Jerry West pulls all the strings, makes everything work, and gets – I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying they are sitting there kind of under the shadows. Let the spotlight be on the Lakers. We'll make these moves. I mean, they're going to have DeAndre Jordan. They've already said, we're moving on from you, whether you opt in or opt out. So I'm thinking if he opts in, hey, let's get a deal done. Let's use him for Kawhi as the big kind of main. I'm not
they
saying
got LaMarcus Aldridge and Paul Gasol.
I'm not saying. Well, Paul Gasol is towards the end of his
But
end
also,
of his time.
they still played him heavy minutes last year. He was fine.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's what I'm assuming the Clippers would want. Imagine if Kawhi goes to LA for the Clippers, then for Paul George and LeBron, hey, we're still going to LA, but we're not going to the Lakers. I think that would be a key thing to kind of change all this up to where PG and LeBron maybe go to the Clippers instead of the Lakers. That's why my pressure is on Magic Johnson, because if he screws this up, then it's, oh my God, I screwed everything up and I hyped everyone up for this because we were going to get somebody.
So what duo works best together in LA?
Me, I would say LeBron and Paul George is the one that I would want, but I would take Kawhi and LeBron. It's like, I'll take anyone, but Paul George is the one I would pick with LeBron.
We're getting some agreement, Dave, here, so I'm guessing you're going to say Paul George and LeBron, too.
No, give me Kawhi.
See, I'm going to disagree with that because, and this is kind of going along the same line with Bill, because you're going to have to give a lot to get Kawhi. If it's B.I., Hart, and Kuzma, and then also picks.
Yep.
But this is a guy that, again, we don't know if he's healthy. I mean, again, he didn't trust the Spurs doctors to be, let him to go out and play. He was playing fine when he was out there. I mean, he was a little bit rusty, but he was really starting to shake it off in the last couple of games he did play in. And we don't know if he's going to be able to at least get past this injury, either mentally, because right now he doesn't look like he's mentally strong enough to be
get out
in
of
San
here
Antonio.
with the reading into the mentally strong enough.
Okay, but this guy is afraid to play. He wasn't going out there because
the
he
medical
didn't trust
staff
the doctor.
lost his trust. Like, that's all it is. And you're
But
saying
why?
that
We
you
don't-
don't know if he's healthy. And
I don't know what's going on. That's
you watched
why.
him play 4 months or 3 months ago now, and you don't think by the beginning of next year he's going to be healthy enough? If he looked like he was shaking it off 3 months ago, imagine the amount of time he's had to recover.
I remember recording that podcast.
If he's healthy, then why isn't Boston giving a
because
ton
he's
up
already
for him?
said that he doesn't want to play in Boston. He wants to
Exactly.
play
But
in LA.
they also threw in that they have injury concerns about him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's their leverage. It's a game back and forth. For me, I look at Kawhi Leonard, I go, he's the second best two-way player in the game. He performs at the highest level during the highest stakes. Paul George can't say that. Paul George choked hilariously in the playoffs, not just this last year, the year before that, and the year before that. So, sorry when I go, Paul George seems a bit overrated. Yes, he's a great player. Yes, he's a top 25, 30 player.
He's probably top 20.
Probably top 25. But my point being, I'm going to take the guy who's been there, done that, and is the best, potential pairing for LeBron James, because you get someone where LeBron can kind of slack off on defense a little bit more because Kawhi goes hard at people. You have someone who is extremely versatile in Kawhi who wants to be in LA. Like, all signs point to, this is the guy who's at his prime, who wants to be here, who can compete against the Golden State Warriors, and has proven that. So, in my mind, it's not even close between Kawhi or Paul George. The cost is worth it.
Do you guys believe the stuff of, like, the only reason the Spurs opened up or reopened talks with the Lakers was to get a team like the Celtics interested or a team like the Sixers interested, to where it's like, hey, we're not going to trade them to LA, but if we get open talks with them, kind of gauge what they're going to give us, a Boston, a Philadelphia might jump into the trade discussion.
Yeah, Bill, what do you think about that?
Oh yeah, I mean, no question. If you're trying to get rid of an asset, you want the most back for it. I mean, of course you're going to try to stir up as much buzz as you can about the situation. Even if somebody isn't interested, you're going to want to make it seem like it is, so you could get the most from the highest bidder. So yeah, I mean, absolutely, they would try to beef up as much as they can. That they're talking to other teams, just so whenever they do move Kawhi, which, I mean, if they don't, will be one of the biggest monumental mistakes, I think, in NBA history. Of course they're trying to beef up what they can to get for him.
And we have two more questions. It's obviously we got to make the hot takes of who's going to end up there. But one question we got to ask: if they get all three, how will they work? So, Bill, I want to go to you first. If they get Kawhi, PG-13, and LeBron, let's say they get rid of Ingram, Kuzma, and Hart, and then future picks. They also obviously going to have to get rid of Luol Deng. Push that off to someone who needs that contract, or at least can give them a contract, and they get picks back or whatever. They do the whole salary caps gymnastics. They get LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, PG-13. How do they work, and how good are they? Are they good enough to take down the Rockets or the Warriors?
Year one, I would say, man, if they got all three of them, I mean, taking injuries and stuff out of the equation, man, Golden State plays so well and so fluid, and they've been playing together for so long at this point. It'd be hard to see, because, I mean, LeBron's a ball-dominant player. Kawhi, to an extent, kind of is, and they all kind of play like the same position or like close to, kind of like that 2-3-4 area. I don't know, because who else would be on the team? You got Lonzo Ball, and then And have we done a whole talk about the Lakers and LeBron going there without mentioning LeVar Ball? I mean, wow, that whole situation. I mean, if Lonzo's still on the team, I mean, that could be. They're gonna have to put LeVar Ball in like a glass room or something so nobody could hear him speak. But I don't think that they would take him down in the first year. Maybe if they got a year playing together and getting chemistry flowing and things like that. But I mean, who else would be on the team? Like, would Brook Lopez still be there?
Mo Wagner would be there.
Yeah, Mo Wagner would be there.
Mo Wagner, yeah. Hell yeah.
I know Lopez's contract's up. Same with Julius Randle. And they might
Randle would be gone.
Throw him into a sign and trade, but I'm not sure. They probably have to be able to take on, they have vet Mins, and we'll see if maybe Dwight wants to come or something like that. But
I was going to say, maybe get those people chasing, the ring chasers trying to go fill out the rest of the roster. But I feel like it'd be such a, almost like a fantasy draft kind of team that you just put together to play a game of 2K with, that it happened so fast, and the chemistry of it I think would be hard. I mean, the talent level is there, but
chemistry's overrated, man. I mean, look at what the Cavs did last year. It was like, I'm going to trade my entire team mid-season, and I'm going to roll into the championship.
But that was also because of LeBron putting up 40 in every single win.
It's LeBron doing that, though. That's the crazy thing.
Well, how do you think they're going to work, Dave?
Against the Pacers, but,
I mean, they beat some other teams. They took over Canada for a little bit. I think it could work. That's the thing.
Well, how does it work? If it could work, how would it work?
I don't know, man. That's one where I'm stumped because I don't know what the right price would be. I don't know what.
I'm just talking strictly on the basketball court. If they get everyone together, how would LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George work together?
I mean, Paul George plays the two. I mean, that's the easy answer. Unfortunately, I think that you run basically LeBron goes between point guard and power forward. He has no problem doing that. It's pretty normal for him. I don't think that'd be a problem. Kawhi plays off ball. And can kind of take over a secondary ball handler. But Paul George is, at this point, in my mind, just relegated to 3-and-D player. You catch and you shoot. You're no longer a primary ball handler. Don't worry about it. We don't need you to do that. Only in extreme cases when, the other two are off the court.
Well, how does Lonzo work with it, too? Because Lonzo is most likely he's not going to be in any of these deals. So Lonzo's going to be the main ball handler of LeBron James.
No, it's LeBron and Bron.
Yeah.
Lonzo.
But, I mean, think about what, when we were talking about LeBron to the Sixers, the main thing was, he wants to play more off ball. If you got a guy like Lonzo who, say whatever you want about his shot, it might be janky, but the dude can pass. Yeah. The dude can find open shooters.
Yeah, and his effort level goes pretty well. He's good at getting rebounds. They'd have ridiculous size. They would be able to guard anybody at that point, which would be amazing. But the problem is, if he doesn't get a shot better, then yes, you have a concern because you can't run out a non-shooter on LeBron's team. That's just, you can't do that.
Well, the biggest thing with this is if you have those four players, LeBron becomes the fourth defender. As weird as it sounds, especially with Lonzo Ball on the team, LeBron becomes that fourth defender.
Which is ideal.
Exactly, because then he's going to be able to save up a ton of energy. And we saw even when he was on Kevin Durant in the finals and when he was guarding people in the finals, he wasn't that great. He was dead tired, but also he didn't put that much effort into it.
He's going to be sitting about 5 feet away from Draymond.
Yeah.
That's him playing defense.
You have Kawhi Leonard, you have Paul George, two guys who are notably great defenders, and Lonzo Ball, who was quietly one of the best point guard defenders last year. LeBron is at least going to be able to take possessions off defensively, and then offensively we can see that machine that he is and dish it out to Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And we look at Kawhi, his best shooting percentage from three was 44% or something like that. I think it was 3 years ago, right when he started to hit that 20-point mark. And Paul George has consistently been a good three-point shooter. 37% on his career, and then pretty much from the 2014-2015 season and down, he's been above 37% too, and near 40% last year as well. So I think it would be a really nice pairing, at least with those four, but how much depth would be on that team? How much would you be able to put out there? And if we're talking about beating a Golden State team, or especially a Rockets team that you're going to have to be running up against, that's where it gets a little bit tricky.
Well, and that's it. To your original question, you asked Bill, how far do they get? In my mind, it's easy. If they get all three, Lakers are number 3 in the West. Warriors will be number 2.
They're not even number.
Rockets will be number 1. The only reason I say that is the Warriors, they don't give a shit about the regular season. Whatever, we'll be the 2. We're going to rest up for the playoffs.
So even if they get Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and LeBron James, they're not even going to be the top 2 team.
In the regular season, no. And the thing this is how it plays out. There'll be 3.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
There'll be 3 behind the Warriors and the Rockets. At the 3 seed, they'll play scratch that.
I don't need your playoff, but just
scratch that. They'll be at the flip the Warriors and the Rockets. Warriors will be 1, Rockets will be 2, Lakers will be 3. They'll play the Rockets in the second round, beat the Rockets in the playoffs, losing like 5 or 6 of the Warriors. Okay. Because with the Rockets, they're going to lose Trevor Ariza. I think he's going to the Warriors. They're going to lose Clint Capella. I don't think he's going to come back. I think they're going to lose too many pieces for the Rockets to be good as they were in the playoff. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know, but with the Lakers, that's how all 3 could affect the West.
Well, let's get into some hot takes. Bill, who are the players that the Los Angeles Lakers will acquire this year? Are they going to get all 3? Are they going to get 2 of them, 1 of them? What are your thoughts on the Lakers offseason and what it will yield?
I think it's going to, the more that I think about it, I think Kawhi is a for sure to the Lakers because the Spurs have to trade him. I mean, if they don't, it'd be one of the most asinine moves in NBA history. So they're going to get Kawhi. They're going to get him. And then it'll be interesting to see if LeBron wants to do another big 3 like he did in Miami. I think if they get Kawhi, then they're going to land either and LeBron or Paul George. So, yeah, you know what? I'll go out and say it. I think if they get Kawhi, they get all 3.
All right, and I do want to say we're recording this on Thursday, so we have no idea what's going to happen, when the trade is going to go down. But right now we're recording this on Thursday the 28th. I do want to throw this at you, Bill. When does that Kawhi trade happen? Does it happen in the next 48 hours, right around when LeBron needs to opt into that contract?
I mean, for the Spurs to get a great return, it has to. For them to get the return they want, I think it has to, personally.
So Bill's calling next 48 hours, so about when this is going to be posting, Kawhi Leonard will be a Laker, and then following it, Paul George will be a Laker, and as well as LeBron James. Ricky, are you in the same boat?
No. Right now, the only one that I think they will get is Paul George. LeBron, I'm not even going to try to guesstimate where he's going to go. The 2, he's either going to L.A. or he's going to opt out and then do a one-on-one with Cleveland. That's in my mind. The thing with the Spurs, in my mind, I've got 2 things going on, and I really want to take the hot take one, and I'm going to do it. They're not going to trade him. He'll walk away at the end of the year. Okay. I think they're going to be way too hard-headed, but I hope for Spurs fans they trade him by the deadline. That's what I want to happen. That's the one that I will be like, oh, please let that happen. But I can just see them going, no, we can fix this, and then he walks at the end of the year.
Dave, who do the Lakers get?
They're going to end up with Kawhi, LeBron James, Swaggy P, Lance Stevenson, and Mario Hezonja.
No Dwight Howard? No round 2?
No Dwight Howard return.
I forgot about that when I threw it out there.
No, we're going to pass on that one.
So they're going to get LeBron and Kawhi.
Yeah. Right. I still think Stevenson would be an awesome ad, though.
It would be interesting to see those 2 play together.
He can just blow on LeBron in practice
amazing.
now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And LeBron, LeBron might take him out in practice. So we'll see what happens.
Jordan did it to Kerr.
I'm going to have to answer this question. That means Lakers are going to get shut out this offseason. Oh. They're not getting Kawhi Leonard.
Well, he just doesn't.
They're not getting Paul George. And they're not getting LeBron James. I don't think LeBron James is going either way because I don't think Kawhi Leonard's getting traded in the next 48 hours. I think that's going to be dependent on if LeBron goes or not.
Yeah.
I don't think Kawhi gets traded until the beginning of the season when he's not going to be showing up for anything Spurs related. I think they're going to wait until Kawhi is saying, I'm not playing for you. I think that's what it's going to take for him to get moved. I don't think it's going to be happening in July. I don't think it's going to be happening in the end of June. I don't think he gets traded no matter the yield.
But once that happens, doesn't his value just drop because he won't even play a game?
But right now, I don't think the Lakers are going to give up Ingram, Kuzma, and Hart. And if they do, they're getting fucking robbed.
It should be I think they're Ingram, getting Kuzma, and 2 picks.
Well, I think they're getting robbed with that because, again, I don't know what picks they will be, but still, I think Ingram is a guy that can be a future star in this league. And if he's playing on the Spurs, that is a for sure bet that he's going to be a future star in this league.
Great body.
He's a guy that can be the next great point forward. I mean, he showed it last year. He had 19 games where he had I think 5 or more assists, shooting 40% from the field. I mean, he's coming along with a shot. The numbers don't show it if you look at the box score, but you look at him, he has a natural flow to his game. It's something that is
Sean,
just extremely
impressive. Are you saying the Lakers should TTP?
Sure. But and then going at with Paul George, I think he's going to stay in OKC for at least for the max. I think he's going to take the most money possible. Maybe they end up moving him when that contract gets later on, but I think he wants to take the most money possible, especially with his leg. He knows how fragile an NBA career can be, and he's a guy that can last a long time in the NBA. His rings will come. I think he wants to take the money now, and also he said he still has unfinished business in OKC, and I think he truly believes in that because he gave him as much as he could in the regular season, and once that Melo contract's off, it's going to be interesting what they do to put around Russ. and PG-13. I think he's going to stay. And with LeBron, I have no idea what he's doing, but I know he's not going to Los Angeles. He's not going out west. And if he does go out west, he's going to Houston. So it's either Cleveland or it's Houston. Yep. It's not even that I don't want to pick my face. I just don't think it's going to happen. And the reason why I don't think it's going to happen is I made a bet because I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not making the bet because I don't want it to happen. I'm making the bet because I don't think it's going to happen. That's why you make a bet, is because you think and you believe in a stance. And I believe that he's not going out west. I think this is all smoke
you're riding the bus now.
And
right?
I think Los Angeles gets blown out. Also, LeBron still scored 40 in every single win against the Pacers, so I wasn't wrong. It just went to 7.
Ride the bus.
So that's my thoughts, at least on the Lakers. Bill, any final thoughts you got on the Lakers offseason?
Not on the Lakers offseason, but I got one more hot take. Does anybody think LeBron gets another championship? I'd say no.
No. I think that
Yes.
Kevin Durant's going to end with more championships than LeBron.
Yep.
What is
I
that?
don't think
2 or
LeBron gets
3
another
more.
one.
Well, 2 more.
He's got 3. What? Right? LeBron's got 3?
No, 1 more then. Yeah.
LeBron's got 3.
LeBron has
KD's
3,
got
yeah.
2. So he'll end with 1 more. I think KD can get 2 more championships.
Do you think LeBron gets another ring?
I think LeBron will get another ring
I think it's bound to happen. He gets 1 more. I don't know
With
if he's
the
gonna.
Warriors?
on Bronny's shoulders.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think he gets shut out, but I think he gets 1 more. I don't know if it's next year, but I think he's still.
I think he's good for one. Like even at the end of his career, he's still gonna be, like we talked about Jordan at 40. Like LeBron at 40, I still think is gonna be able to compete.
Yeah, I don't think LeBron's gonna have a true fall off. I know you threw out there,
He's
around 35.
Bunting. He's gonna be shooting 45% from 3 by that point.
I think one thing is we might see his numbers dip and his dominance dip, but I think he might still be really efficient on the floor, and he's still got that ability to be a guy that is still. I mean, he's one of the most athletic guys right now at 33.
Yeah.
So I mean, when we're talking about 3 more years, I still think he's gonna be a very athletic player even at 37. So I think LeBron can still be a really effective guy. And I mean, his body's never broken down on him yet, knock on wood. So I don't think it's going to happen now. So those are our thoughts on the Lakers offseason. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. And let us know if you think we should hire Bill or not. Because this was another fun segment with Bill on Patreon. So if you do want to be a patron like Bill, check out patreon.com/mostvaluable podcast. Bill, I want to thank you for joining us.